Hi friends, I'm Wendy Custer. Welcome to my channel where I share encouragement for your heart and tips for encouraging others. Today I want to give you 5 ways you can plan to be an encourager in 2023. You may have figured out by now that I'm very passionate about encouraging. And one of my biggest goals every year is to be a better encourager or more encouraging in my relationships, in my attitude, and just in my general life. I shared a video right before Christmas with some tips about planning for encouragement during the holiday season, and you guys really seem to like that. So I wanted to follow it up with another video that just gives more tips for how you can plan for encouragement. As much as I love encouraging, and I would consider myself an encourager for a number of years now, I still don't think encouragement comes easily and naturally if you aren't intentional. Today, I really want us to discover some ways that we can plan ahead so that we can be intentional about encouraging in 2023. The first and most important way that you can plan to be an encourager this year is to encourage yourself. I've said it a couple of times before, and I'm going to continue to talk about it more and more, how encouraging and strengthening yourself in the Lord is the best way to become an encourager. So as you're planning to be an encourager this year, I want you to plan to encourage yourself. Here's some ideas for doing that. First, you can change your words. Have you ever noticed how often you talk negatively to yourself? A couple of years ago, I started to notice that I was feeling tired all of the time. I found myself throughout the day saying, I am so tired. I'm just tired. I just feel so tired. And I began to realize that I was convincing myself that I was tired. The more I talked about being tired, the more tired I became. And so I started to change my words. I started to be grateful for the rest I had the night before. I started to say, actually, I'm not that tired. My energy level increasing just by stopping the negative words. Let's take a look at the words that we're saying to ourselves. When I'm discontent, I find myself saying, I need, or I want, or I deserve. So I can change that language and begin to say to myself, I'm so grateful for what I have. Think about the negative words that you're saying to yourself. Start to change those words and practice gratitude and talking to yourself with positive words. In order to encourage yourself, you also should be reading the Word. As you read the Word and you read about what God says about you and the promises that He gives you, you're going to naturally have new words to give yourself. Also, as you read the Word and you begin to become immersed in God's promises for you, those promises will not only encourage your own heart, but they will start to come out of your mouth to help you to encourage others. Another way to encourage yourself, remind yourself of God's promises. Remind yourself of the blessings that He's given you, of the things that God has done in your life. Look for where He's at work. These are all ways that you can encourage or strengthen yourself in the Lord. The second way that you can plan to be an encourager in 2023 is to take notice of those who need encouraging. To just start looking around and noting who seems down and who seems discouraged. Look around. Look at the faces of the people around you. Look at their body language. Look at the things they're doing and the things that they're struggling with. This can apply to those in your home, those in your neighborhood, those in your workplace, wherever you happen to be. Open your eyes and look for the people that need to be encouraged. You can also take notice of those who need encouragement by listening. Practice active listening. Don't just listen in order to give a response, but listen for understanding. Listen to their words, listen to their heart, and begin to take notice of the things that seem to discourage others. And finally, you can take notice of those who need encouragement by asking. Simply ask others, how can I be praying for you? It is such a powerful question. Jerry and I asked our waitress last night when we were out to dinner, how could we pray for you this week? And she had an immediate response for us. Please pray for my family. We're going through a hard time, just like so many others. Now, she didn't give me any other details, and I likely won't see this woman again. Since we were out of town, it wasn't a place I normally go. But I took note of her name, and I did pray for her, and I have prayed for her, especially through this coming day. I would recommend, whether you're looking, listening, asking, that you keep a list for yourself. Start a notebook or a little notepad and start to make a list of people that need encouragement. The third way that you can plan for encouragement in the new year is to choose a strategy of encouragement. Now, I'm going to be talking about this more in the future, but I have several different ways of encouragement that I have sort of researched and thought about in the past as I've planned to be an encourager. But I want to give you the top 3 that I think are some of the most natural and easy ways to encourage. The first is to encourage with your words. And this is a great way. We're always talking to people, right? We can talk, we can text, we can send notes. There's so many ways that we can use our words to encourage. So if you are a person who likes to communicate by texting or emailing or talking or writing notes, then the encouragement of words is great for you. Another strategy that you can use is the encouragement of action. And this would be for those of you who just have a heart of service. You could make meals for people. You could clean their house. You could mow their yard. You could do so many things that are acts of service for them, folding their laundry, just anything that you could think of that is sort of putting that encouragement to action. And if you are a person that just has a heart for service, this is the strategy for you. Another strategy we talked about in the previous video around the holidays is the encouragement of gifts. I know some of you are just gifted at giving, and so this is a very natural way to encourage others. Whatever your strategy is, or whether you would like to use a mixture of those, I'd just like to invite you, as you plan to be an encourager, to start thinking about those strategies and deciding which one is most natural for me. Or if you're not sure, then try on each of those strategies and practice encouraging in those ways. The fourth way to plan for being an encourager in 2023 is to gather your supplies. And this is a super practical thing that you can do. I think it follows right behind choosing that strategy. But once you have chosen that strategy, it's easy to say, yeah, I'm going to do that. And then we get caught up in life. And if we don't have what we need right there, it's so easy to let that time slip away. And before you know it, you're in 2024 and you're like, I didn't meet that goal. I really wasn't more encouraging this year. So as we're being intentional and as we're planning, I want us to think about what supplies we can gather to be ready for us so that when we want to encourage, we have everything we need to do that. So let's go back to those strategies and think through this for a moment. If the strategy you want to choose is the encouragement of words, and let's say that you've made a goal of sending out notes of encouragement, then you need to gather the supplies of your Bible so that you can look up verses that would be encouraging. Note cards so that you're ready to write. Get your pens together, your stickers, your envelopes, and obviously your address book so that everything is right there ready to go. If your strategy is action, let's say, for instance, you've determined that you want to make meals for people in 2023 as a form of encouragement of action, then I would suggest that you start making a list of who you might make those meals for. Gather a few recipes to have on hand and maybe some ingredients that you can keep in your freezer or in your pantry, so making those recipes is easy. And then you're going to want to get together some containers that you can have on hand, so when you're ready to make those recipes, those meals, you can package them up in containers they don't need to return and have them ready to go. If your strategy is the strategy of gifts, you can look back at that video that I made during the holidays, because a lot of that is going to apply, And I will link that video right up here so that you can access it easily. But one of the things that you can do is to purchase gift cards in advance. Keep those on hand so that you have them throughout the year to be able to give a quick gift to someone who is in need. Also, just keep an eye out for small things that you can keep tucked away for someone who needs a little special something. You might also get your gift wrap together, or maybe just create a staging or a storage area for these gifts. All of these are just a few tips for gathering your supplies to be ready to encourage. The fifth and final tip I'm going to give you today for planning to be an encourager in 2023 is simply to start practicing being an encourager. Schedule time that you can sit and make a list of people that you need to encourage and ways that you can encourage. Smile. As I discussed in the video just this past week, and I'll link that one right up here, smiling is one of the purest and most simple forms of encouragement that you can offer. It's one that you can practice on a regular basis, and smiling can be an encouragement that you can offer to people that you know and people that you don't know. And finally, just do it. Send the card, make the meal, give the gift. You need to practice becoming an encourager before it's going to come natural to you. I hope these tips are helpful for you as you become intentional and begin to plan to be an encourager in 2023. If you don't have the goal of being an encourager, I pray that it will be something that is on your heart. And if you already are an encourager, I hope these tips will help you as you become more and more encouraging. If you did find this video helpful or encouraging, I would love to ask you to subscribe, to like this video with a thumbs up, and to consider sharing it with others. These are all things that encourage me and help this channel so I can spread this message of encouragement to more and more people. I hope that you have a wonderful day as you look for opportunities to encourage, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, encourage one another daily.